NAK9. KR9 with a full mag of federal aluminum.
Few bump fires.
J, the human bump fire.
This is the PAK-9 made by Nova Modul in Romania. Never had a failure with this gun, so we're also going to try the federal aluminum ammo out of it that's jammed basically every gun that we've had up into this point. Clear.
NAK9 again. How those have nice triggers. KR9.
Okay.
PAK-9 again. Yep. KR9. NAK9. I can't fire as fast as Jake, but I can have as much fun. KR9. That was the PAK-9.
PAK-9.
KR9. NAK9. KR9. Hi, this is Misha.
And this is Jake.
And we have a discussion not at the range. We did go out today and actually shot for quite a bit, but it's just hovering right above freezing. Good news is no precipitation and it was really dry. But we wanted to compare the new Kalashnikov-USA KR-9 Carbine. This is AK and 9mm, with some guns we've done videos in the past. The Romanian NAK9 pistol. It's a day for honorary stocks. Have you noticed?
Mm-hmm.
And you've got there the...
This is the PAK 9mm pistol. These are both made by Nova Modul in Romania. So these are actual authentic Eastern Bloc AK style blowback 9mm pistols.
And we've done videos on both of these, and we also have a video kind of going into the history and reliability endurance test of the KR9. So that, you know, talking about its reliability. TLDR for all three of these, we've experienced great reliability with a huge range of ammunition.
No failures, literally no failures with anything that we've tried. So.
And to date, I would say this has about 500 rounds to it. This NAK9 has about 500 rounds, and I think you said your PAK-9 has
about 1,000 rounds.
Yeah,
yep.
because we've had it the longest.
So there's a video that I did a long time ago of sort of a first-person video with a GoPro where I throw one of these magazines at a dummy target, and this is the same pistol as what was in that, and it's had quite a few more rounds through it since then. And you'll see in some of the shooting footage and stuff that we did of these guns that even like bump firing and all that stuff, they just run 100%. So as far as purely from a reliability function standpoint, we've not had any issues with any of these. They're all 100%.
Yeah, and these two guns are made in Romania. They're imported as pistols. The KR9 is made in the USA by Kalashnikov-USA as a carbine. They also have a KP9, which is a pistol version. The KR9 here has a 16-inch barrel. The KP9 pistol version has about a 9-inch barrel. Yours there, I think, what's that, about a 5-inch barrel?
I think it's around a 5-inch, yeah.
Yeah, right. And then this on the NAK9 is around 11. Both of the Romanian guns take Glock brand Glock mags. They also come with Beretta 92 mag wells, so it's interchangeable. The Kalashnikov-USA takes its own mags, 30 round, slightly curved, kind of reminiscent of an MP5 mag, but these are copies of the PP19 Vityaz mags. So it takes its own proprietary mags, but right now they're pretty available. So that's basically the rundown of these real brief. So getting into the discussion part, we shot all three today, quite a bit, mags back to back using brass, steel, even that crappy aluminum cased ammo. Yep. So what did you think?
Yeah, so overall impressions out of the box on the KR9, I guess I'll start with it since like I said, we've had a lot of experience with the PAK and the NAK already. But the KR9 compares very favorably. One impression that I get right out of the box on the KR9 over the PAK and the NAK is the fit and finish is very nice. Like everything feels very tight. It looks really good. It's got a very unique.
Yeah, there's no play.
Eastern European, military look to it. So, and it's lightweight. It seems to balance really well, and it feels very handy. Whereas with the PAK and the NAK, which you can tell from these guns, they have a much more utilitarian finish. Not bad finish at all.
No,
just utilitarian kind of park, typical Romanian. In addition, we have to add, in order to get any type of brace or stock on the back, you have to add some type of adapter. So in this case, we have these kind of large hinged brace adapters, which add a lot of weight to it as well. And if I
believe yours is the U.S. machine gun.
Mine's the U.S.
and mine's Stormworks.
Yep.
Just to give variety.
Very similar.
Oh yeah.
Still, but I do remember which we didn't throw these on a scale, which there's going to be some weight differences in weight based on how we have them configured. But
sure.
I do remember that when I first got the PAK, it felt very chunky, and it is kind of like a brick as far as kind of weight and balance goes.
But a brick and I'm drowning slowly.
The KR9 has a very light feel, even with accounting for the very long, rifle length barrel, that has a much lighter weight to it. So, initial handling and feel impressions, the KR9 feels better overall, I think, than the PAK or the NAK. But then again, there's a certain raw utilitarianism to the PAK and the NAK, and how they come across. So very Eastern European style to them.
Yeah, one is that Romanian rough and ready, as we say in the KR9 video. This is almost a one-for-one, almost a mirror clone copy of a Russian Izhmash Sega 9, which is their semi-auto carbine version of the Vityaz. The only difference is their version has like a 14.5-inch barrel, so slightly shorter than ours, but otherwise they did an amazing job of replicating it. But again, more for that in the video on this. It is lighter, and it's funny, I didn't notice it really till today, but I wasn't picking them up side by side. I think a good chunk of that is the KR9 has a 9mm scaled back receiver, so you have less meat up front, whereas the NAK9 and the PAK9 have kind of a modified AKM receiver, and I was feeling it just a second ago. Most of that weight seems to be in this area up here, which would be the trunnion area. So I think it just has a much chunkier trunnion up here. Yeah, and also I'd say the stock assembly, because of the adapter, is a little heavier, because the metal stock is just the AK-74 style, and they're pretty light. Yep. This has all this, but really when I'm holding it, it's still much more front heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think even with the, like I said, even with the barrel, the extra barrel length, the KR9 is better balanced overall.
Yeah. Now, magazines, it's kind of a pro-con thing. I mean, obviously it's great that these more or less come out of the box with both magwell adapters, and if they don't have the Glock adapter, you can find them very easily for 20 bucks. But most of them, especially if you buy from like Atlantic, come with it plus the Beretta. So mags are not an issue. But some people into aesthetics don't like the straight mag look in an AK. And so they do like that this takes the Vityaz mags. It does have a mag well, as you see.
Yep.
Now what's interesting, these mags are kind of like MP5. They're nearly straight shot. They're nearly drop free. They're not rock and lock as such, but they have that kind of curvy. They basically look like an AK-74 mag cut in half if you think about it. They're curvy like it. That's one thing though, and that was actually an early thing. The mag release.
Yep.
It is definitely simpler and more straightforward on the KR9 because it's AK style.
Right. Yeah, that's one thing. These adapters on either one of these Nova Modul AK 9mm AKs, they have this insert here. If you hit the typical paddle release as you would on any other AK, on the PAK, I'm not sure if it's the same way on the NAK, but on the PAK, it will just drop this adapter out, and then your handguards actually will fall off as well on the PAK. So you have to hit this button on the side to actually drop the magazine. So if your manual of arms is used to on an AK hitting that paddle, like the very first thing that we did after shooting the KR9 and then shooting the PAK and the NAK, both of us instantly hit that paddle because that's what we're used to drop the mag, and then that's not going to drop the mag, that's going to drop the entire mag assembly.
Yeah, the PAK-9 came out first, and like you illustrated, what they did on the NAK9, they did put a little spring-loaded pin here, so you can't fully push, but you can still screw stuff up. Yeah, that pin, if you want to take it out, it's still removable, but it's a thing. Plus, when you have the side release, you lose ambidexterity. With the paddle type, you can use either hand. Sights are about the same on both. They have combination front sight, gas blocks, tangent type rear sight on the NAK9. Your PAK-9 there came with that little, just pretty much fixed on the rail rear.
It's actually just like it is detachable. It's
yeah,
screwed onto the rail, just like a little low profile sight there. So
the KR9 has a sight that goes out to 200 meters. It has 4 adjustments, so it's a short leaf.
Yep.
It takes standard AK handguards and pistol grip. The PAK-9 there takes standard pistol grip, but not standard handguards. The NAK9 does take standard handguards.
Yep.
None of them, of course, have a gas system as such.
Yep. So what's kind of interesting is you would think that based on what we've talked about so far, is we've listed a lot of advantages of the KR9 over either the PAK or the NAK, but one thing that we haven't mentioned though is price.
Yep.
So what was that you got your PAK for?
The PAK?
Yep.
They were 400 or less.
Yeah.
New.
Yep.
Now the NAK, they're higher. They were about 700 or less. Then when they came out last year, they're probably a little cheaper now, but you know they are more.
Yep.
Whereas the KP9 or the KR9, you're looking at 1,200 plus.
Yep. So same cartridge, I think probably better overall functionality as far as like we talked about on the mag release, the sights, the integrated folding stock and all that stuff, the weight, the balance, but also considerably more expensive. Plus, one of the advantages, as Misha mentioned, is these take the PAK and the NAK take standard Glock mags, so you probably chances are whether or not you even have a Glock, you have Glock mags.
And if not, they take Beretta mags.
Or Beretta 92. So
who doesn't own one of those?
Right. So very common, very easy to find, very cheap mags. Lots of availability. As far as drum mags and all that stuff goes. So there's still, for me, it's not like I can come out and say, you should just buy the KR9. Don't worry about the PAK and the NAK, because again, it's effectively an AK style platform. Blowback operation, 9mm, and they all just run and run and run. So if you're just wanting an entry-level 9mm AK, you're still going to be well served with either the PAK or the NAK for the price. And after having shot my PAK and the KR9 back-to-back, the PAK and the NAK are so much fun to shoot. Very smooth. We talked a little bit about the fit and finish, but the bolt travel on the PAK is very smooth.
I wanted to, let's show the bolt travel, because that's one difference. On this gun here, you have a more or less full length bolt travel. It's a little bit shorter because of the shorter receiver, but it's pretty full length.
I'm going to angle this kind of back, but you'll see the bolt travel here. It's very short, but it's also very smooth.
Yeah.
So it's just a very quick operation on the bolt.
I mean, I'll flip this open. Funnily enough, these all have hinged top covers, kind of. That you see, this has a pretty standard recoil spring. It's got a massive bolt. What we do is assembly in the other video. That's there. The one thing inside the Nova Modul guns, again, hinged. But we have this kind of synthetic block in the back. That's what keeps it coming back too far and jumping off the barrel. This does concern some people, but like you said, yours has 1,000 round, mine has about 500. Our blocks are not.
No, there's no discernible wear on mine.
No, and even if it shattered apart, how hard would it be to fabricate literally a block out of whatever, wood or rubber or anything? Yeah. But that's one thing I've heard people, including Tim, kind of worries about with these, is that block falling apart. But it doesn't. It seems to be a concern that's not really a concern. But that does kind of show the difference in the travel and the function.
Something else you may see too is the trigger on the PAK. Is it the same trigger in the NAK?
Yeah.
Okay. They're very smooth triggers.
Yeah, they're real
just
light.
Right out of the box. It's very light, very easy pull. Very short reset, just really nice triggers for an AK.
And I have to say, on this KUSA gun, it came with a Tapco trigger. I just couldn't stand it. I try to keep stuff stock for our videos, but one thing I had to change is I had to put in, this is actually a fine grip trigger, and it was a little, not crunchy, but kind of clicky when we first put it in, but after being shot, it's worn in very nicely and worked really well. But I would have to say that the Romanian guns have the slight edge on trigger. Yep. And you can always do it. Oh, one other thing, these the NAK9s come threaded 14x1 left hand. The PAK9s do not come threaded, but you can thread them. And the KR and the KP9 come threaded 1/2x28. And they say these are suppressor ready from the factory, so that might be, 9mm suppressed is actually quite a bit of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a good point. Yeah, on the PAK, you'll have to, if you want to add a muzzle attachment, you'll have to have the barrel threaded as well.
And I wouldn't trust the threads on the NAK9 to be concentric enough for suppressors.
Yeah.
just cause.
Right.
Yeah. Well, they both, you can't really say one was more reliable than the other because they both, one thing I will say, these mags for the KR9 are easier to load than the Glock brand Glock mags.
Yep, that's true. Very easy to load all the way to up to 30 rounds. Didn't really struggle with it at all.
They're double stack, double feed mags, whereas of course Glock mags are double stack, single feed. So it's a little, oh, and they also have stripper clip guides. If you, I'm not sure what they use, but if you were to have the right guide and clips, you could load them from that.
Yep. So I mean, I've wanted a 9mm AK pretty much since I saw a Bizon for the first time. And, you know, so really the first one that came out that was within price reach for me was the PAK-9, the Chiappa PAK-9. Because there had been some US-made ones before that were out on the market that I think were in the $1,500 to $1,800 range.
I don't remember. Yeah, there were some, you're right, but I don't remember them. It never, and you know.
So never did with anything with those, but the KR9 though, still for being a very close copy of, you know, the Russian pattern, is very appealing to me. So I had been considering selling off my PAK-9 and buying a KR9 after shooting the PAK-9 and the KR9 back to back today. I love shooting the PAK-9 too much. So I'm going to hang on to it for sure, and I'll probably just end up getting a KR9 later on down the road and just having both.
I will say I think the KR9 is a little softer shooting, but then the PAK-9 has a little better trigger, and of course the PAK-9 is more, even to the KP9 is smaller.
Yeah.
You know, the barrel is... So.
As far as like muzzle climb, repeatability on point of impact and stuff, you can see it in the videos and the shooting videos, is we didn't have any trouble just keeping any of them just right on target. So... yeah, so even though this one is lighter, it still had the same, or at least as good of repeatability as far as your point of impact goes from a recoil standpoint. So, so yeah, I think it's this being the original, you know, patterned off of the original Russian. If that's something that has interested you more than either the PAK or the NAK. Then there's not any reason not to consider it. I don't think at this point we shot, I think, over 500 rounds today, or at least 500 rounds, and had no issues whatsoever. So a lot of fun to shoot. Really cool setup. I'm glad that we have these available now.
And I will say that the Nova Modul guns seem to be working really well for people in the USA. I don't know if they're based on any military gun though, because I've looked and just can't really find anything. Yep. This though is based on the PP19, which was originally the Bizon, and then it became the Vityaz when it became the 01 variant. This is standard issue in Russia for their military, even police, so it does have a military pedigree, at least the original Izhmash version. And again, this really is a close facsimile. So I would say long term, assuming Kalashnikov-USA built the gun to the same quality specs as Izhmash, this probably will hold up better long term, but it is a lot more expensive. It's nearly double the price of the NAK9 and, you know, 3 times the price of the PAK-9.
Yeah.
But I don't think if you can afford one and you're a Russian collector, you'll regret it.
Right.
Again, the NAK and the PAK work well, but they are kind of rough and ready. And there is the fact that they're built on regular AKM receivers. So there's a certain kind of ad hocness to them, whereas everything on this gun seems custom made for the 9mm.
Yep.
So I would recommend, probably at this juncture, assuming, you know, basing this is still new, you know, nothing changes, I'd recommend the KR9 if you can afford one, or the KP9. Yeah. If you can't though, don't feel bad. The Romanian guns will serve you very well.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, if price is the major consideration, then will be well served, I think, with either of the Nova Modul models, depending on, you know, what furniture setup you want. I got this one first. I decided not to step up to the NAK. Only because I kind of like the shorter, you know, PDW type.
And you have a lot of 9mm,
yes.
So yeah.
So yeah, that. But again, what thing that appeals to me is the Russianness of the KR9. So
Look at that side. Yeah, but yeah,
it's really cool looking. Like that curved mag and the triangle stock looks pretty bad.
It's legit. Like, it's close to the PP1901, but if you look at a Sega 9, it's what it is.
Yeah.
The only real change I can tell for the U.S. market they did was they went to the 1/2x28 threads. The originals were 16 millimeter threads, but that's it. I mean, where are you going to find a 16 millimeter anything?
Right. Yeah. There are plenty of 1/2x28 9mm devices out there.
And I would say, Kalashnikov-USA is a new company, but then again, Nova Modul is not exactly a company that's been in the gun business for very long either. So they're both relatively young companies.
Yeah.
So, but I'll be honest, before these guns, I wasn't really interested in a 9mm AK because they're all just straight blowback guns. But any one of these are just really fun to shoot.
Yeah, they're just unbelievably fun. Like, as someone who has a lot of 9mm carbines and PCCs and SMGs and all that stuff, that these are just, they're a blast to shoot. So if you like 9mm, if you like the AK platform, this is the best of both worlds, peanut butter and my chocolate type thing.
Yeah, and these seem, we've had better luck out of 9mm AKs than, say, 9mm ARs and stuff. I don't know, it seems like the design lends itself really well to it. And these all, by the way, have chrome line barrels and all that good stuff.
Yeah, one thing too, and we talked about it a little bit, but that aluminum ammunition, it's federal aluminum ammunition. We could not get that crap to cycle in anything. We tried it from Walther, PPQs, Glocks. We tried it in, my Scorpion would not work. We tried it in a bunch of different MP5s. Just bunches of stuff. I tried it in my Ruger PC9. Couldn't get it to cycle in anything. Like, I had about 300 rounds of it. Was prepared to basically just throw it out. And that was our last resort test today. And all three of these, and it just ate it like hot buttered popcorn. So we ended up burning through. Most of what I burned through the NAK9 or the KP9 to the KR9 today was that federal aluminum stuff. So that to me speaks volumes to the reliability on this AK platform 9mm.
And I think it's because the chambers are chrome and they're not tight. They're kind of, because like we were talking about, I think a lot of the issues with the aluminum case came with extraction. We'd have like the rims ripped off.
Yeah, they'd always get stuck in the chamber.
And I think that was because the guns had really tight chambers, trying to have better accuracy, which is fine, but in this one instance, the aluminum played fine with the AK type chamber. And again, it's all of them, so it's Russian spec as well as the Romanian, which is great.
Yeah. Yep.
And I know before we go, someone's going to ask in the comments about the Palmetto State 9mm. We don't have any experience with it.
No.
It's maybe awesome. It's just there's only so many days in the week and so much time at the range, and we try to pick guns that are of interest to it, because you're going to get a better review from us when we care. And there's just not really, I get that they were going for a Vityaz clone with the Palmetto gun, but it's just not quite there, especially compared to the Kalashnikov-USA.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it. If not, something like this is Jim Dandy.
Right. True.
That flips up when you do the cover. Yeah.
That's the shoulder thing that flips up.
Oh yeah, there it is. Whoop.
Now you know.
Yep. The more you know.
Right. Don't say you never learned nothing.
Well, any final thoughts?
No, I think it said they're all great.
Yeah.
Buy them all.
Boringly reliable.
Boringly reliable. Ton of fun to shoot though. So.
Yep. Well, as always, we appreciate you tuning in. If you could, like, share, subscribe.
Yep. If you're interested in becoming a Patreon contributor, check out the description below. We do Q&As every couple of months or so. We do some giveaways once a month and some other stuff with the OBA shop. So check that out if you're interested.
Yep, and hopefully we'll have more outdoor discussions if it ever quits being winter. It's funny, it started off as March and then it got cold.
Yep.
So yeah, for more info on these, we check out the playlist.
Yep.
We've got more on the Romanians and some videos on this critter here.
Yep.
Well, this is Misha.
And this is Jake.
And we will catch you next time.
See ya. Now I'm going to get up and run across the room and turn the camera off.
Go, go.